Hello and welcome to the TORCHCAST. I'm Devin Anderson and welcome to the TORCHCAST for November 18th, 2015, here on planet Earth at Ferris State University. The weather is cold. It's getting colder. It's been beautiful the past few weeks, and I don't know why. I was sort of willing to accept some snow until it just hasn't snowed, and we shouldn't question this, but what's going on? It's coming. Snow's going to be here soon. Are you cold? Are you feeling cold? Now on to the Torch traffic report. Traffic on State Street is busy. So I hope that helps you wherever and whenever you hear this. Are you getting excited for Thanksgiving this year? Thanksgiving is going to be wonderful. We're all going to go home, eat lots of food, and forget about classes, and then come back and worry incessantly about them because that's what we do, right? I'm struggling through some classes. It's tough. Life is tough. Big projects due, lots of deadlines to meet. Are you feeling this way too? I hope so. I hope we can all relate on that. So let's take a look at the torch for this week. Following a 38-7 triumph over Walsh on Saturday, Ferris State football is now undefeated for their regular season as they head into the playoffs. Ferris State's first playoff game will be against Texas A&M at noon on Saturday, November 21st at Top Taggart Field. Standing in solidarity, Angela Graff reports Travis Hill, Michael Leach, and Kyle Feit stood for 12 hours in the quad on Monday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to show support for victims of recent tragedies in France and acts of terrorism all over the world. The three Ferris students stood wearing blue, white, and red while holding a French flag and a message that read, "Take a moment of silence for victims of violent acts around the world. Paris, Kenya, Nigeria, Lebanon, Syria, Baghdad." Said Kyle Feit, "It opens the eyes of some students when they walk by and read that there are places other than Paris being attacked, and that whole other places exist outside of their own world and social media." Also in the torch this week, Lifestyles editor Haley Klingel interviewed three Ferris students anonymously who have been given MIPs. Their reactions: student number 1 said, "I was pretty pissed. I was really nervous about how it would affect everything, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't too bad." Student number 2, "I cried basically the entire time from when they stopped us to all night after. I cried a lot the next day, too." Student number 3, "I was definitely scared and disappointed in myself when it first happened. It was embarrassing to be given an MIP in front of students walking to go to parties. I was also really worried about what might happen to my future job search with an MIP." And now I'm sure you all heard about it last week, but
I am the one who knocked.
Yes, a team of drug enforcement officers were the ones who knocked last week after a meth lab was discovered in a vehicle on Ferris's West Campus. Mark Kevin Peterson, a 30-year-old male, was arrested and arraigned on many counts of manufacturing, operating a meth lab, possessing meth, and charged with one count of maintaining a meth lab in the presence of a minor due to a child's car seat being found in his vehicle. Ferris Night Patrol officers discovered Peterson's vehicle in Lot 23 around 9 p.m. on November 9th, and according to Ferris DPS Director Bruce Borkovich, Peterson quickly drove off to Robin Court upon seeing officers kind of snooping around looking for him. It was discovered Peterson had been staying with his girlfriend, a Ferris student, in Robin Court, and after finding the vehicle's license plate to have been expired and some further investigation, DPS contacted the Central Michigan Enforcement Team to assist in arresting Peterson. More meth lab equipment was later discovered in the woods nearby. Peterson faces up to 20 years in prison. My guest this week is our new opinions editor at The Torch, Kip Biby. We will have some insight from him when we return. This week's episode of the TORCHCAST is once again brought to you by parking at Ferris State University. We know you like to be cozy, so for added comfort, snow will be flying in this holiday season to make each parking lot just a little bit smaller. Ferris State Parking. Imagine more. Parking Yep, just imagine it. TORCHCAST, we are back, and my guest today is Kip Biby. He went from news writer to opinions editor very quickly here. We like Kip very much, and our conversation is a little bit disjointed, free-flowing, so just try to keep up. It doesn't make much sense. So here to start with, Kip is also the Toad, the elusive Toad. The Toad is a satirical blog about Ferris news. And here I asked Kip about a time around the Confederate flag controversy recently that he made a post saying American flags were going to be banned from Ferris's campus. Untrue, of course, but
I decided to write a short story about it for Ferris, and a lot of people took it seriously.
You were saying that Ferris was going to ban
the
American
flag as a joke, but a lot of people took it seriously, and I don't remember the last time I looked at it, near 5,000 views. Wow. A lot of angry comments.
And I think Ferris ended up having to address it, right?
Because someone did comment that they talked with Ferris staff and Ferris leadership, and she found out that it was fake. But the idea was that it was fake. It was satire.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was interesting.
And so now as opinions editor, you're going to be cultivating the voices of campus, faculty, students. How does that relate, or does it? What are your intentions for the term?
Well, I can't make up fake news for the newspaper.
Right.
I found out the hard way. But I think some writing with voice that I learned from the Toad, and using a little bit of humor is going to be good for the paper. I think people enjoy reading something they can be entertained by and informed by.
Cool. You had an opinion in the Torch this week. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I addressed an issue that I see, and I can't speak for the whole campus, but a lot of my friends have been adopting or buying dogs, and I look at it as a huge mistake in someone's life.
Why?
Well, in my opinion, I outlined the cost of owning a dog in the first year especially, and the research I came up with says nearly $2,000.
A year?
Just in the first year. So as a puppy, buying a crate, a leash, getting it trained,
grooming, vet visit.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. And
wow.
then, of course, food.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But dogs are so cute. Dogs are adorable.
They're cute, but one thing I find is that if you go online and type in cute dog, you can see pictures of cute dogs without actually having to pay.
Really?
Right. So if Google or Bing or Yahoo, they're all good for that.
Okay. Yeah, I saw a video on BuzzFeed the other day of like drunk girls playing with puppies in front of a camera. They just kept like bringing more puppies in.
Right. That's appropriate because you have to be drunk to find BuzzFeed entertaining.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of BuzzFeed actually.
No, neither am I. But I can't argue with cute puppies.
No,
I guess.
No.
But no, I do sort of see it. I have a couple friends with dogs who are very cool dogs, but it's like a big kind of investment in your life that, as a busy student, I know I couldn't have a dog.
Right, and I think a lot of people won't have a child in college, and that's the sole reason they won't have a kid is because they don't want to tell their parents. Their parents would be really upset, but you don't have to tell your parents about a dog because you can hide that from them. You can't really hide that you're having a baby. So I think they take similar amounts of time to take care of, probably not comparable money wise, but. Getting a dog is just a mistake. And the other thing I found is that you're spending 45 or so minutes a day taking care of it on average, and that's time you could be spending working. Yeah. So let's say you spent that time working a minimum wage job. You're sacrificing $1,283 over the course of an academic year.
Now, you haven't mentioned Trump yet.
I don't like to mention Trump.
Do you think he's a serious candidate?
I think he's becoming a serious candidate. I don't think he's going to win. I'm not going to blanketly say everyone that loves him is stupid, but I don't think everyone that loves him is really all that informed. I think he's more of a caricature, and he's fun to watch, and he's decently smart. No one's going to say he's stupid, but he's not really I don't think he'll make a good president.
Okay. Something we did a little bit last year at the Torch was a column in the opinion section called Words at War, and I'm putting this to you. Can you find a very pro-Trump person and a very anti-Trump person and pit them against one another in a battle of the columns?
There's nothing I would love to see more than the two extremes argue.
So, Kip, what's your major at Ferris?
I'm a psychology major.
Psychology, and what attracted you here? Where are you from?
I'm from Grand Rapids. I like to say I'm from Kentucky, but I'm not. My parents just live there. They moved there a couple years ago.
So you get to visit?
Yeah, I get to go to Kentucky. I spent my summer there. I'm from Grand Rapids. I was attracted to Ferris. I was originally a criminal justice major, and of course, Ferris has a good criminal justice program. Mm-hmm. And then I walked into my first criminal justice class, and I saw everyone, and I heard the teacher speak, and I just decided, I don't know.
You're also a member of a fraternity here on campus.
That's correct.
What fraternity is
It's
that?
Phi Sigma Kappa.
When the Torch began exploring its recent Greek alcohol policy story, you were a great informer of all the facts to us.
Right.
What's your interpretation of that right now?
Well, I don't like them. I don't like the new rules. I don't understand how the school can kind of govern its students outside of campus like it does. I understand that we're a registered student organization. We're through Ferris, so they have a little control there. But we have 10 guys sitting in a living room, and it's technically supposed to be a registered event, that doesn't really make sense to me.
Okay.
When people not affiliated with a Greek organization could sit in a living room together and not register that makes a lot more sense to me. I don't understand what the goal is. I know they want us to drink less, but in my opinion, we don't have a drinking problem in the Greek community. I think when there's an issue with alcohol, they kind of turn to us as the issue, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
So there's not a lot of drinking going on?
There's drinking everyone on campus. I mean, there's going to be Greeks that drink, and there's going to be Greeks that that don't. I have several friends in my fraternity, and I know others in other fraternities that don't drink, and they have a lot of fun. And I know people that do drink, and they have a lot of fun, but we know how to do it responsibly.
Okay. What is your drink of choice?
Oh, I really love Maker's 46. Like I said, I spent my summer in Kentucky, so I got to see how bourbon was made. I went to the Maker's Distillery and the Jim Beam Distillery, and Maker's 46, while expensive, it is a delicious beverage.
Ooh, something I want to jump to real quick. I forgot about this. You've been in contact with Tucker Carlson recently?
A little bit, yeah.
What is that all about?
Well, Tucker Carlson, I'm sure I don't think a lot of students watch Fox News, so I guess I'll tell you guys who it is. Tucker Carlson is a Saturday morning anchor for Fox News, and he's a contributor throughout the week. He also is the editor-in-chief of a website called The Daily Caller, based out of Washington, D.C. And I emailed him over the summer, basically just desperately asking for an internship at his website, and he emailed me back, and he said he'd love to have me, and he got me in touch with his office manager, and it looks like that's what I'm going to be doing this summer, is working for The Daily Caller in D.C.
That's incredible. So would you advise other students to do the same thing? And if I want to work for Tesla, do I just email Elon Musk and say like, hey, hire me, dude?
What's an Elon Musk?
Kip.
Tesla Motors?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I would say email him and then just assume that that's not going to work, like I did. I emailed Tucker one Saturday night, and I woke up on Sunday, and I was astonished. Of course, I didn't expect him to email back or even read it. But my dad, when I was growing up, I was 15 or 16 and getting a job, he told me you have to knock on 1,000 doors. You can't, rely on one. You can't, there's never going to be ace in the hole. You got to really widen the net. So I guess if you're going to email Tesla, you should email about 1,000. So 999 more doors.
Okay.
So to speak.
Don't know where to go from here.
Where do we go now? So, what did I have for breakfast this morning? I had a granola bar. Trying to think of some questions you like to ask.
I'm enjoying the dead air.
Dead air Dennis.
Dead air Devin.
Nice.
I think this would be a wonderful way to end. It's just to sort of go on too long.
Mm-hmm.
And
where it's almost funny.
But not really.
But then it is a little bit funny as we go on because it's too long, but then it goes too far.
Yeah, so we got to find that sweet spot.
So people probably stop laughing about now.
Okay. So, right here. So that's Kip. Yeah, that is Kip. That's my friend Kip. And we're really happy to have him as the Opinions Editor. Hopefully we have some awesome conversations about stuff, about politics, about life, about more dogs maybe. I don't know. Thank you for listening to the TORCHCAST this week. I really appreciate it. Find the Torch on campus. There's a lot more that we didn't get to in the show this week. Or you can find the Torch at fsutorch.com. I'm gonna take off. Thanks. Bye.